And Rachelle is gone yet again.
Oh no.
Again.
Here.
She's union, so she gets
Yeah.
a break every. She's back.
This is stage manager.
All right. So, and if you guys don't mind, like when you're not in the scene, turn your cameras off and mute, and don't forget to unmute when you come back on. That's a reminder to myself because I did that once in a scene with Tina, and she wanted to kill me. So anyway, yay. All right. So everyone, tonight is Two Gentlemen of Verona by William Shakespeare or somebody or Ken, and happy birthday, Bard, maybe. Birthday.
Woo.
All right. Two Gentlemen of Verona. Act 1, Scene 1, Verona. An open place. Enter Valentine and Proteus.
Oh, cease to persuade my loving Proteus. Homekeeping youth have ever homely wits. Were not affection chains thy tender days to the sweet glances of thy honored love, I rather would entreat thy company to see the wonders of the world abroad. But since thou lovest, love still and thrive therein, even as I would when I to love begin.
Wilt thou be gone, sweet Valentine? Adieu. Think on thy Proteus when thou haply seest some rare, noteworthy object in thy travel. Wish me partaker in thy happiness when thou dost meet good hap, and in thy danger, if ever danger do environ thee. Comment thy grievance to my holy prayers, for I will thy beadsman Valentine.
And on a love book, pray for my success.
Upon some book I love, I'll pray for thee.
Oh, that's on some shallow story of deep love, how young Leander crossed the Hellespont.
That's a deep story of a deeper love, for he was more than over shoes in love.
Oh, 'tis true, for you are over boots in love.
Oh, over the boots. Nay, give me not the boots.
No, I will not, for it boots thee not.
What?
To be in love, where scorn is bought with groans, coy looks with heart-sore sighs, one fading moment's mirth with 20 watchful, weary, tedious nights. However, but a folly bought with wit, or else a wit by folly vanquished.
So, by your circumstance, you call me fool.
So by your circumstance, I fear you'll prove.
'Tis love you cavil at. I am not love.
Love is your master, for he masters you. And he that is so yoked by a fool, methinks, should not be chronicled for wise. But wherefore waste I time to counsel thee that art a votary to fond desire? Once more, adieu. My father at the road expects my coming, there to see me shipped to Milan. Let me hear from thee by letters of thy success in love, and what news else betideth here in absence of thy friend, and likewise will visit thee with mine.
All happiness be chance to thee in Milan.
As much to you at home. And so, farewell.
He after honor hunts, I after love. He leaves his friends to dignify them more. I leave myself, my friends, and all for love. Thou, Julia, thou hast metamorphosized me, made me neglect my studies, lose my time, war with good counsel, set the world at naught, made wit with musing weak, heart sick with thought.
Sir Proteus, save you, saw you my master?
But now he parted hence to embark for Milan.
20 to 1, then he is shipped already, and I have played the sheep in losing him.
Indeed, a sheep doth very often stray, and if the shepherd be a while away.
You conclude that my master is a shepherd, then, and I a sheep?
I do.
Why then, my horns are his horns, whether I wake or sleep.
A silly answer, and well fitting a sheep.
This proves me still a sheep, nay, that I can deny by circumstance. The shepherd seeks the sheep, and not the sheep the shepherd. But I seek my master, and my master seeks not me. Therefore, I am no sheep.
The sheep for fodder follow the shepherd. The shepherd for food follows not the sheep. Thou for wages followest thy master. Thy master for wages follows thee not. Therefore, thou art a sheep.
Such another proof will make me cry, bah.
gavest thou my letter to Julia?
Aye, sir. A lost mutton gave your letter to her, a laced mutton, and she, a laced mutton, gave me, a lost mutton, nothing for my labor.
Here's too small a pasture for such stores of mutton.
If the ground be overcharged, you were best stick her.
Nay, in that you are astray. 'Twere best pound you.
Nay, sir, less than a pound shall serve me for carrying your letter.
Beshrew me, but you have a quick wit.
And yet it cannot overtake your slow purse.
Come, open the matter in brief. What said she?
Open your purse, that the money and the matter may be both at once delivered.
Well, sir, here is for your pains. What said she?
Truly, sir, I think you'll hardly win her.
Why, couldst thou perceive so much from her?
Sir, I could perceive nothing at all from her. No, not so much as a ducat for delivering your letter, and being so hard to me that brought your mind, I fear she'll prove as hard to you in telling your mind. Give her no tokens but stones, for she's as hard as steel.
What said she? Nothing?
No, not so much as take this for thy pains. To testify to your bounty, I thank you. You have testerned in me. In requital thereof, henceforth carry your letters yourself.
Go, be gone. I must go send some better messenger. I fear my Julia would not deign my lines, receiving them from such a worthless post.
Act 1, Scene 2, Garden of Julia's house. Enter Julia and Lucetta. But, say, Lucetta, now we are alone, wouldst thou then counsel me to fall in love?
Aye, madam, so you stumble not unheedfully.
Of all the fair resort of gentlemen that every day with parley encounter me, in thy opinion, which is worthiest of love?
Oh, please you repeat their names. I'll show my mind according to my shallow, simple skill.
What thinkst thou of the fair Sir Eglamour?
As of a knight, well-spoken, neat, and fine. But were I you, he should never be mine.
What thinkst thou of the rich Mercatio?
Well, of his wealth, but of himself, so.
What thinkst thou of the gentle Proteus?
Lord, to see what folly reigns in us.
How now? What means this passion at his name?
Pardon, dear madam, 'tis a passing shame that I, unworthy body as I am, should censure thus on lovely gentlemen. Then thus, of many good, I think him best.
Your reason?
I have no other but a woman's reason. I think him so because I think him so.
Why, he of all the rest hath never moved me.
Yet he of all the rest, I think, best loves ye.
His little speaking shows his love but small.
Fire that's closest kept burns most of all.
I would I knew his mind.
Well, peruse this paper.
To Julia. Say from whom?
That the contents will show. Oh, Sir Valentine's page, and sent, I think, from Proteus. He would have given it you, but I, being in the way, did in your name receive it. Well, pardon the fault, I pray.
Now, by my modesty, a goodly broker. Dare you to presume to harbor wanton lines? To whisper and conspire against my youth? There, take the paper. See it be returned, or else no more in my sight.
To plead for love deserves more fee than hate.
No, you be gone.
Oh, that you may ruminate.
Yet I would. I had all of the letter. Ugh. It were a shame to call her back again and pray her to a fault for which I chid her. And what a fool is she, that knows I am a maid and would not force the letter to my view, since maids in modesty say no to the thing which they would have the profferer construe aye. Aye, how wayward is this foolish love. How churlishly I chid Lucetta hence, when willingly I would have her here. How angrily I taught my brow to frown, when inward joy enforced my heart to smile. My penance is to call Lucetta back and ask her remission from my poly past. What ho, Lucetta?
What would your ladyship?
Is near dinner time?
I would it were, that you might kill your stomach on your meat and not upon your maid. Oh.
What is you took up so gingerly?
Nothing.
Why did you stoop then?
To take a paper up that I let fall.
And is the paper nothing?
Nothing concerning me.
Then let it lie for those that it concerns.
Madam, it will not lie where it concerns unless it has a false interpreter. Yet, I might sing it, madam, to a tune.
Oh, as little by such toys as may be possible. Best sing it to the tune of Light of Love.
Oh, it is too heavy for such light a tune.
Heavy. You like it hath some burden, then?
Aye, and melodious were it, would you sing it?
Why not you?
Oh, I cannot reach so high. Oh, keep tune there still, so you will sing it out. And yet methinks I do not like this tune.
You do not.
No, madam, 'tis too sharp.
You, minion, are too saucy.
Nay, now you are too flat, and mar the concord with too harsh a discant. There wanteth but a mean to fill your song.
The mean is drowned with your unruly bass.
Indeed, I bid the bass for Proteus.
This babble shall not henceforth trouble me. Get you gone and let the papers lie. You would be fingering them to anger me.
She makes it strange, but she would best be pleased to be so angered with another letter.
Nay, would I were so angered with the same. Oh. Hateful hands to tear such loving words, injurious wasps to feed on such sweet honey and kill the bees that yield it with your stings. I'll kiss each several paper for amends. Look, here is writ, kind Julia. Unkind Julia, as in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stones and trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. Oh, and here is writ, love wounded Proteus. Poor wounded name. My bosom, as a bed, shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed, unless I search it with a sovereign kiss. But twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Be calm, good wind, blow not a word away till I have found each letter in the letter, except mine own name, that some whirlwind bear into a ragged, fearful, hanging rock and throw it thence into the raging sea. Lo, here in one line is his name twice writ. Poor, forlorn Proteus. Passionate Proteus. To the sweet Julia. That I'll tear away. And yet I will not. So prettily he couples it to his complaining names. Thus I will fold them one on another. Now kiss, embrace, contend, do what you will.
Madam, dinner is ready and your father stays.
Oh, well, let us go.
What shall these papers lie like telltales here?
If you respect them, best to take them up.
Well, nay, I was taken up for laying them down. Yet here they shall not lie for catching cold.
I see you have a month's mind to them.
Aye, madam, you may say what sights you see. I see things too, although you judge I wink.
Act 1, Scene 3, the same. Antonio's house. Enter Antonio and Pantina.
Tell me, Pantina, what sad talk was that wherewith my brother held you in the cloister?
'Twas of his nephew Proteus, your son.
Why, what of him?
He wondered that your lordship would suffer him to spend his youth at home, while other men of slender reputation put forth their sons to seek preferment out, some to the wars to try their fortune there, some to discover islands far away, some to the studious universities, and did request me to importune you to let him spend his time no more at home, which would be great impeachment to his age, in having known no travel in his youth.
I have considered well his loss of time and how he cannot be a perfect man, not being tried and tutored in this world. Then tell me, whither were I best to send him?
I think your lordship is not ignorant how his companion youth Valentine attends the emperor in his royal court. 'Twere good, I think, your lordship sent him hither.
I like thy counsel. Well hast thou advised, and that thou mayst perceive how well I like it. The execution of it shall make known. Even with the speediest expedition, I will dispatch him to Emperor's court.
Tomorrow, may it please you, Don Alfonso, with other gentlemen of good esteem, are journeying to salute the emperor.
Good company. With them shall Proteus go, and in good time. Now we will break with him.
Sweet love, sweet lines, sweet life. Here is her hand, the agent of her heart. Here is her oath for love, her honor's pawn. Oh, that our fathers would applaud our loves to seal our happiness with their consents. Oh, heavenly Julia.
How now? What letter are you reading there?
May it please your lordship, 'tis a word or two of commendations sent from Valentine, delivered by a friend that came from him.
Lend me the letter. Let me see the news.
There is no news, my lord, but that he writes how happily he lives, how well beloved and daily graced by the emperor, wishing me with him partner of his fortune.
And how stand you affected to his wish?
as one relying on your lordship's will and not depending on his friendly wish.
My will is something sorted with his wish. I am thou shalt spend some time with Valentinus in the emperor's court. What maintenance he from his friends receives, like exhibition thou shalt have from me. Tomorrow be in readiness to go. Excuse it not, for I am peremptory.
My lord, I cannot be so soon provided. Please, you deliberate a day or two.
No more of stay. Tomorrow thou must go. Come on, Pantina, you shall be employed to hasten on his expedition.
Thus have I shunned the fire for fear of burning, and drenched me in the sea where I am drowned. I feared to show my father Julia's letter, lest he should take expectations to my love. As with the vantage of mine own excuse hath he expected most against my love.
Sir Proteus, your father calls for you. He is in haste. Therefore, I pray you go.
Why, this is it. My heart accords thereto, and yet 1,000 times it answers no.
Act 2, Scene 1, Milan, the Duke's Palace. Enter Valentine and Speed.
Sir, your glove.
Not mine. My gloves are on.
Why then, this may be yours, for this is but one.
Well, let me see. Give it me. It's mine. Oh, sweet ornament that decks a thing divine. Oh, Silvia, Silvia.
Madam Silvia, Madam Silvia.
Oh, now, sirrah.
She is not within hearing, sir.
Why, sir, who bade you call her?
Your worship, sir, or else I mistook.
Well, you'll still be too forward.
And yet I was last chidden for being too slow.
Go to, sir. Tell me, do you know Madam Silvia?
She that your worship loves?
Why, how know you that I am in love?
Mary, by these special marks. First, you have learned, like Sir Proteus, to wreathe your arms like a malcontent, to relish a love song like a robin redbreast, to sigh like a schoolboy that has lost his ABC, to weep like a young wench that has buried her grandam, to fast like one that takes diet. You were wont, when you laughed, to crow like a cock. When you walked, you walk like one of the lions. When you fasted, it was presently after dinner. When you looked sadly, it was for want of money. And now you are metamorphosed with a mistress that when I look on you, I can hardly think of you as my master.
Are all these things perceived in me?
They are all perceived without thee.
Without me? They cannot.
Without you? Nay, that's certain. For without you, we're so simple. Else none else would. But you are so without these follies that these follies are within you and shine through you like water in an urinal. That's not an eye that sees you, but is a physician to comment on your malady.
But tell me, dost thou know my lady Silvia?
She that you gaze on so as she sits at supper?
Hast thou observed that? Even she, I mean.
Why, sir, I know her not.
Dost thou know her by my gazing on her, and yet knowest her not?
Is she not hard favored, sir?
Oh, not so fair, boy, as well favored.
Sir, I know that well enough, that she is not so fair as of you well favored.
I mean that her beauty is exquisite, but her favor infinite.
Marry, sir, so painted to make her fair that no man counts of her beauty.
How esteemest thou me? I account of her beauty.
You never saw her since she was deformed.
How long hath she been deformed?
Ever since you loved her.
I've loved her ever since I saw her, and still I see her beautiful.
If you love her, you cannot see her.
Why?
Because love is blind.
What should I see then?
Your own present folly and her passing deformity. For he, being in love, could not see to garter his hose.
Belike, boy, then you are in love, for last morning you could not see to wipe my shoes.
True, sir. I was in love with my bed.
In conclusion, I stand affected to her.
I would you were set so your affection would cease.
Last night she enjoined me to write some lines to one she loves.
And have you?
I have.
Are they not lamely writ?
No, boy, but as well as I can do them. Peace, here she comes.
Oh, excellent motion, exceeding puppet. Now will he interpret to her.
Madam and mistress, 1,000 good morrows.
Oh, give ye good even. Here's a million of manners.
Sir Valentine and servant, to you 2,000.
He should give her interest, and she gives it to him.
As you enjoined me, I have writ your letter unto the secret nameless friend of yours, which I was much unwilling to proceed in, but for my duty to your ladyship.
I thank you, gentle servant. 'Tis very clerkly done.
Now, trust me, madam, it came hardly off. For being ignorant to whom it goes, I writ at random very doubtfully.
Perchance you think too much of such pains.
No, madam. So instead, I will write, please you command, 1,000 times as much. And yet...
A pretty period. Well, I guess the sequel. And yet I will not name it. And yet I care not. And yet take this again. And yet I thank you, meaning henceforth to trouble you no more.
And yet you will, and yet another yet.
What means your ladyship? Do you not like it?
Yes, yes, the lines are very quaintly writ, but since unwillingly take them again.
Madam, they are for you.
You writ them, sir, at my request, but I will none of them. They are for you.
Please you, I'll write your ladyship another.
And when it's writ, for my sake, read it over, and if it please you, so. If not, why so?
If it please me, madam, what then?
Why, if it please you, take it for your labor. And so, good morrow, servant.
Oh, just, unseen, inscrutable, invisible. My master sues to her, and she hath taught her suitor. Oh, excellent device, was there ever heard a better, that my master, being scribe, to himself should write a letter?
How now, sir? What are you reasoning with yourself?
Nay, I was rhyming. 'Tis you that have the reason.
To do what?
To be a spokesman for Madame Silvia.
To whom?
To yourself. Why, she woos you by a figure.
What figure?
By a letter, I should say.
Why, she hath not writ to me.
What needs she when she hath made you write to yourself? Why, do you not perceive the jest?
She gave me none except an angry word.
Why, she hath given you a letter.
That's the letter I writ to her friend.
And that letter hath she delivered, and there an end.
I would it were no worse.
I'll warrant you 'tis as well. Herself hath taught her love himself to write unto her lover. All this I speak in print, for in print I found it. Why muse you, sir? 'Tis dinner time.
I have dined.
Aye, but hearken, sir. Though the chameleon love can feed on the air, I am one that am nourished by my victuals, and would fain have meat. Oh, be not like your mistress. Be moved, be moved.
Act 2, Scene 2, Verona, Julia's house. Enter Proteus and Julia.
Have patience, gentle Julia.
I must, where is no remedy.
When possibly I can, I will return.
If you turn not, you will return the sooner. Keep this remembrance for thy Julia's sake.
Why then, we'll make exchange here. Take you this.
Unseal the bargain with a holy kiss.
And here is my hand for my true consistency. And when that hour o'erslips me in the day, wherein I sigh not, Julia, for thy sake, the next ensuing hour, some foul mischance torment me for my love's forgetfulness. My father stays my coming. Answer not. The tide is now, nay, not thy tide of tears. What? Gone without a word? Aye, so true love should do. It cannot speak, for truth hath better deeds than words to grace it.
Sir Proteus, you're stayed for.
Go. I come. Julia, farewell.
Act 2, Scene 3, the same, a street. Enter Launce, leading his dog, Crab.
Nay, to be this hour I've done weeping. All the rest of the Launces have this very fault. I have received my proportion, and I'm going with Sir Proteus to the Imperial's court. I think Crab, my dog, be the sourest natured dog that lives. My mother weeping, my father wailing, my sister crying, our maid howling, our cat wringing her hands, and all our house in a great perplexity. Yet did not this cruel-hearted cur shed one tear. A stone, and has no more pity in him than a dog. No, I'll show you the manner of it. Now, this shoe is my father. Wailing, my sister crying, our maid howling. This shoe is my father. Now, this left shoe is my father. No, this left shoe is my mother. Yes, it is so. It is so. It hath the worsest soul. This shoe with a hole in it is my mother, and this is my father. Father, your blessing. Now, should not the shoe speak a word for weeping? Now should I kiss my father? Well, he weeps on. Now come I to my mother. Oh, that she could speak now, that she could speak a word, speak now like a moved woman. Well, I kiss her. Right, there it is. Here's my mother's breath up and down. Now, come I to my sister. Mark the moan she makes. Now, the dog, all this while, sheds not a tear, nor speaks a word.
Launce, away aboard! Thy master is shipped! What's the matter? Why weepest thou, man? Away, ass! You'll lose the tide if you tarry any longer.
Is no matter if the tide were lost, for it is the unkindest tide that ever any man tied.
What's the unkindest tide?
Why, that's tide here. Crab, my dog.
Tut, man, I mean that'll lose the flood, and in losing the flood, lose thy voyage, and in losing thy voyage, lose thy master, and in losing thy master, lose thy service, and in losing thy service. What is that?
For fear thou should losest thy tongue.
Oh, where should I lose my tongue?
In thy tail.
In thy tail?
lose the tide and the voyage and the master and the service and the tide. Why, woman, if the river were dry, I'm able to fill it up with my tears.
Come away, man. Wilt thou go?
Well, I will go.
Act 2, Scene 4, Milan, the Duke's Palace. Enter Silvia, Valentine, Thurio, and Speed.
Servant.
Mistress.
Sir, Master Thurio frowns on you.
Aye, boy, it's for love.
Not of you.
Of my mistress, then.
'Twere good you knocked him.
Servant, you are sad.
Indeed, madam, I seem so.
Seem you that you are not.
Happily, I do.
So do counterfeits.
And so do you.
What seem I that I am not?
Wise.
What instance of the contrary?
Your folly.
And how quote you my folly?
I quote it in your jerkin.
My jerkin is a doublet.
Well then, I'll double your folly.
What angry, Sir Thurio? Do you change color?
Oh, give him leave, madam. He is a kind of chameleon.
Thou hath more mind to feed on your blood than live in your air.
You have said, sir.
Aye, sir, and done too for this time.
I know it well, sir. You always end ere you begin.
Sir, if you spend word for word with me, I shall make your wit bankrupt.
A fine volley of words, gentlemen, and quickly shot off. No more, gentlemen, no more. Here comes my father.
Now, Silvia, you are hard beset. Sir Valentine, your father's in good health. What say you to a letter from your friend of much good news?
My lord, I will be thankful to any happy messenger from thence.
Know you Proteus, your countryman?
I know him as myself, for from our infancy we have conversed and spent our hours together. His years but young, but his experience old, his head unmellowed, but his judgment ripe. And in a word, for far behind his worth come all the praises that I now bestow. He is complete in feature and in mind, with all good grace to grace a gentleman.
Beshrew me, sir, but if he makes this good, he is worthy of an empress's love, as meet to be an emperor's counsel. Well, sir, this gentleman is come to me, and here he means to spend his time a while. I think 'tis no unwelcome news to you.
Should I have wished a thing, it had been he.
Welcome him, then, according to his worth. I will send him hither to you presently.
This is the gentleman I told your ladyship had come along with me, but that his mistress did hold his eyes locked in her crystal looks.
Be like that now she hath enfranchised them upon some other pawn for fealty.
Oh, nay, sure, I think she holds them prisoners still.
Nay, then he should be blind, and being blind, how could he see his way to seek you out? Have done. Here comes the gentleman.
Welcome, dear Proteus! Oh! Mistress, I beseech you, confirm his welcome with some special favor.
His worth is warrant for his welcome hither. If this be he you oft have wished to hear from.
Mistress, it is. Sweet lady, entertain him to be my fellow servant to your ladyship.
Too low a mistress for so high a servant.
Not so, sweet lady, but too mean a servant to have a look of such a worthy mistress.
Sweet lady, entertain him for your servant.
Servant, you are welcome to a worthless mistress.
I'll die on him that says so but yourself.
That you are welcome.
That you are worthless.
Madam, your father would speak with you.
I'll leave you to confer of home affairs. When you have done, we look to hear from you.
We'll both attend upon your ladyship.
Oh! Now tell me, how do all from whence you came?
Your friends are well and have them much commended.
And how do yours?
I left them all in health.
Oh, how does your lady? And how thrives your love?
My tales of love were wont to weary you. I know you joy not in a love discourse.
Aye, Proteus, but that life is altered now. For in revenge of my contempt of love, love hath chased sleep from my enthralled eyes and made them watchers of mine own heart's sorrow. O gentle Proteus, love's a mighty lord, and hath so humbled me as I confess there is no woe to his correction. Now can I break my fast, dine, sup, and sleep upon the very naked name of love.
Enough. I read your fortune in your eye. Was this the idol that you worship so?
Even she. And is she not a heavenly saint?
No, but she is an earthly paragon.
Call her divine.
I will not flatter her.
Well, flatter me, for love delights and praises.
When I was sick, you gave me bitter pills, and I must minister the like to you.
Then speak the truth by her. If not divine, sovereign to all the creatures on the earth.
Except my mistress.
Sir, accept not any.
Have I not reason to prefer mine own?
And I will help thee to prefer her too. She shall be dignified with this high honor to bear my lady's train on the base earth.
Why, Valentine, what braggartism is this?
Pardon me, Proteus. All I can is nothing to her whose worth makes other worthies nothing. She is alone.
Then let her alone.
Not for the world. Why, man, she is mine own. Forgive me that I do not dream on thee, because thou seest me dote upon my love. My foolish rival, that her father likes only for his possessions are so huge, is gone with her along, and I must after, for love, thou knowst, is full of jealousy.
But she loves you.
Aye, and we are betrothed. Nay, more, our marriage hour with all the cunning manner of our flight determined of. How I must climb her window, the ladder made of cords, and all the means plotted and agreed upon for my happiness. Good Proteus, go with me to my chamber in these affairs to aid me with thy counsel.
Go on before. I shall inquire you forth, and then I'll presently attend you.
Will you make haste?
I will. Even as one heat another heat expels, or as one nail by strength drives out another, so the remembrance of my former love is by a newer object quite forgotten. Is it mine eye or Valentine's praise? Her true perfection or my false transgression that makes me reasonless to reason thus? She is fair, and so is Julia that I love, that I did love, for now my love is thawed, which like a waxen image against a fire bears no impression of the thing it was. Methinks my zeal to Valentine is cold, and that I love him not as I was wont. Oh, but I love this lady too much, and that's the reason I love him so little. But when I look on her perfections, there is no reason but I shall be blind. If I can check my erring love, I will. If not, to compass her, I'll use my skill.
Act 2, Scene 5, the same, a street. Enter meeting Speed and Launce with his dog, Crab.
Launce, by mine honesty, welcome to Milan.
Forswear not thyself, sweet youth, for I am not welcome. I reckon this always, that a man is never welcome to a place till some certain shot be paid and the hostess say, welcome.
Come on, you madcap. I'll to the alehouse with you presently, where for one shot of 5 pence, thou shalt have 5,000 welcomes. But, sirrah, how did thy master part with Madam Julia?
Merry, after they closed in earnest, they parted very fairly in jest.
But shall she marry him?
No.
How then shall he marry her?
No, neither.
What, are they broken?
No, they are both as whole as a fish.
Why then, how stands the matter with them?
Marry, thus. When it stands well with him, it stands well with her.
What an ass art thou? I understand thee not.
Yeah, what a block art thou that thou canst not? My staff understands me.
What sayest thou?
I and what I do too. Look thee, I'll but lean, and my staff understands me.
It stands under thee, indeed.
Why, stand under and understand is all one.
But tell me true, wilt be a match?
Ask my dog, and if he say aye, it will, and if he say no, it will. And if he shake his tail and say nothing, it will.
The conclusion is then that it will. 'Tis well that I get so. But Launce, how sayest thou that my master is become a notable lover? I tell thee, my master is become a hot lover.
Well, I tell thee, I care not, though he burn himself in love. If thou wilt, go with me to the ale house.
At thy service.
Act 2, Scene 6, the same. The Duke's palace. Enter Proteus alone.
To leave my Julia, shall I be forsworn? To love fair Silvia, shall I be forsworn? To wrong my friend, shall I be much forsworn? Love bade me swear, and love bids me forswear. At first I did adore a twinkling star, but now I worship a celestial sun. Unheedful vows may heedfully be broken, and he wants wit that wants resolved will to learn his wit to exchange the bad for better. Fie, unreverent tongue, to call her bad, whose sovereignty so oft thou hast preferred, with 20,000 soul-confirming oaths. I cannot leave to love, and yet I do. Julia, I lose, and Valentine, I lose. If I keep them, I needs must lose myself. If I lose them, thus find I by their loss for Valentine, myself, for Julia, Silvia. I to myself am dearer than a friend. I will forget that Julia is alive, remembering that my love to her is dead. And Valentine, I'll hold an enemy, aiming at Silvia as a sweeter friend. I cannot now prove constant to myself without some treachery used to Valentine. This night he meaneth what a corded ladder to climb celestial Silvia's chamber window, myself in counsel, his competitor. Now presently, I'll give her father notice of their distinguished and pretended flight, who, all enraged, will banish Valentine. For Thurio, he intends shall wed his daughter. But Valentine, being gone, I'll quickly cross by some sly trick, blunt Thurio's dull proceedings. Love, lend me wings to make my purpose swift, and thou hast lent me wit to plot this drift.
Act 2, Scene 7, Verona. Julia's house. Enter Julia and Lucetta. Counsel, Lucetta, gentle one, assist me, to lesson me and tell me some good means, how with mine honor I may undertake a journey to my loving Proteus.
Alas, the way is wearisome and long.
A true devoted pilgrim is not weary to measure kingdoms with his feeble steps. And when the flight is made to one so dear, of such divine perfection as Sir Proteus.
Better forbear till Proteus make return.
Oh, knowest thou not his looks are my soul's food? Didst thou but know the inly touch of love, thou wouldst as soon go kindle fire with snow as seek to quench the fire of love with words.
I do not seek to quench your love's hot fire, but qualify the fire's extreme rage, lest it should burn above the bounds of reason.
The more thou dampst it up, the more it burns. Then let me go, and hinder not my course. I'll be as patient as a stream till the last step have brought me to my love.
But in what habit will you go along?
Not like a woman, for I would prevent the loose encounters of lascivious men. Gentle Lucetta, fit me with such weeds as may beseem some well-reputed page.
Oh, why then your ladyship must cut your hair.
No, wench. I'll knit it up in silken strings with 20-odd conceited true love's knots.
What fashion, madam, shall I make your breeches? You must needs have them with a codpiece, madam.
Out! Out, Lucetta! That would be ill-favored.
A round hose, madam, now's not worth a pin, unless you have a codpiece to stick pins on.
Oh, Lucetta, as thou lovest me, let me have what thou thinkst meets and most mannerly. But tell me, wench, how will the world repute me for undertaking so unstated journey? I fear me it will make me scandalized.
If you think it so, then stay at home and go not.
Nay, that I will not.
Then never dream on infamy, but go. If Proteus like your journey when you come, no matter who's displeased when you are gone. I fear me he will scarce be pleased withal.
Oh, that is the least, Lucetta, of my fear. 1,000 oaths, an ocean of his tears, and instances of the infinite of love warrant me welcome to my Proteus.
All these are servants to deceitful men.
But truer stars did govern Proteus's birth. His words are bonds, his oaths are oracles, his heart as far from fraud as heaven from earth.
Pray heaven he prove so when you come to him.
Now, as thou lovest me, do him not that wrong to bear hard opinion of his truth. Only deserve my love by loving him, and presently go with me to my chamber to furnish me upon my longing journey. Come, answer not, but to it presently. 3, Scene 1, Milan, the Duke's palace. Enter Duke and Proteus.
Now, tell me, Proteus, what's your will with me?
My gracious lord, that which I would discover, the law of friendship bids me to conceal. But when I call to mind your gracious favors done to me, undeserving as I am, my duty pricks me on to utter that which else no worldly good should draw from me. No, worthy prince, Sir Valentine, my friend, this night intends to steal away your daughter. I know you have determined to bestow her on Thurio, whom your gentle daughter hates. Thus, for my duty's sake, I rather choose to cross my friend in his intended drift than, by concealing it, heap on your head a pack of sorrows which would press you down.
Proteus, I thank thee for thy honest care. This love of theirs myself have often seen, and oftentimes have proposed to forbid Sir Valentine her company and my court. But fearing lest my jealousy aim might err, I give him gentle looks, thereby to find that which thyself hast now disclosed to me. Knowing their tender youth is soon suggested, I nightly lodge her in an upper tower, the key whereof myself have ever kept. And then she cannot be conveyed away.
No, noble lord, that they have devised a mean how he her chamber window will ascend, and with a corded ladder fetch her down, for which the youthful lover now is gone, and this way comes he present with it presently, where, if it please you, you may intercept him. But, good my lord, do it so cunningly that my discovery be not aimed at, for love of you, not hate unto my friend, hath made me publisher of this pretense.
Upon my honor, he shall never know that I had any light of thee from thee of this.
Adieu, my lord. Sir Valentine is coming.
Sir Valentine, whither away so fast?
Please it your grace, there is a messenger that stays to bear my letters to my friends, and I am going to deliver them.
Be they of much import?
The tenor of them doth but signify my health and happy being at your court.
Nay then, no matter. Stay with me a while. I am to break with thee of some affairs that touch me near, wherein thou must be secret. 'Tis not unknown to thee that I have sought to match my friend Sir Thurio to my daughter.
I know it well, my lord, and sure the match were rich and honorable. Besides, the gentleman is full of virtue, bounty, worth, and qualities. Cannot your grace win her to fancy him?
No, trust me. She is peevish, sullen, froward, neither regarding that she is my child, nor fearing me as if I were her father. And, may I say to thee, this pride of hers upon advice has drawn my love from her. And when I thought of the remnant of mine age should be so cherished by her childlike duty, then let her beauty be her wedding dower. For me, my possession she esteems not.
What would your grace have me do in this?
Well, there's a lady in Verona here, whom I affect. But she is nice and coy and not esteemed of my aged eloquence. And therefore I would have thee be my tutor. How, in which way may I bestow myself to be in regard in her sun-bright eye?
Win her with gifts, if she respect not words.
But she did scorn a present that I sent her.
Well, a woman sometimes scorn what best contents her. Send her another. Never give her o'er, for scorn at first makes after love the more. That man that hath a tongue, I say, is no man if with his tongue he cannot win a woman.
But she, I mean, is promised by her friends unto a youthful gentleman of worth, and kept severely from resort of men, that no man hath access to her by day.
Why, then I would resort to her by night.
Aye, but the doors are locked and the keys kept safe, that no man hath recourse to her by night.
What lets but one may enter at her window?
Her chamber is aloft, far off from the ground, and built so shelving that one cannot climb it without apparent hazard to his life.
Why, then a ladder quaintly made of cords to cast up with a pair of anchoring hooks.
Now, as thou art a gentleman of blood, advise me, where might I have such a ladder?
When would you use it? Pray, sir, tell me that.
This very night. For love is like a child that longs for everything that he can come by.
By 7 o'clock, I'll get you such a ladder.
But hark thee, I will go to her alone. How shall I best convey the ladder thither?
It will be light, my lord, that you may bear it under a cloak that is of any length.
A cloak as long as thine will serve the turn?
Aye, my good lord.
Let me see thy cloak. I'll get one of just such another length.
Why, any cloak will serve the turn, my lord.
I pray thee, let me feel thy cloak upon me. What's this? What's here? To Silvia. Oh, and here's an engine fit for my proceeding. My thoughts do harbor with my Silvia nightly, my herald thoughts in thy pure bosom rest. What's here? Silvia, this night I will enfranchise thee. 'Tis so, and here's the letter for the purpose. Wilt thou reach stars because thy shine on thee? Go, base intruder, overweening slave! And if thou linger in my territories longer than the swiftest expedition, I will give thee the leave to leave thy royal court. By heaven, my wrath shall far exceed the love I ever bore my daughter or thyself. Begone! I will not hear thy vain excuse, but thou lovest thy life, make speed from hence.
And why not death rather than living torment? To die is to be banished from myself, and Silvia is myself. Banished from her is self from self, a deadly banishment. What light is light if Silvia be not seen? There is no day for me to look upon. I fly not death to fly his deadly doom. Tarry I here, but I attend on death, but fly I hence, I fly away from life.
Valentine?
No.
Who then? His spirit?
Neither.
What then?
Nothing.
Friend Valentine, a word.
Oh, my ears are stopped and cannot hear good news. So much of bad already hath possessed them.
Then in dumb silence will I bury mine, for they are harsh, untunable, and bad.
Is Silvia dead?
No, Valentine.
No Valentine indeed, for sacred Silvia, hath she forsworn me?
No, Valentine.
No, Valentine, if Silvia hath forsworn me. What is your news?
That thou art banished. Oh, that's the news. From hence, from Silvia, and from me, thy friend.
Oh, I have fed upon this woe already, and now excess of it will make me surfeit. Doth Silvia know that I am banished?
Aye. And she hath offered to the doom a sea of melting pearl, which some call tears. Those at her father's churlish feet she tendered, but nothing bended knees, pure hands held up, sad sighs, deep groans, nor silver shedding tears could penetrate her uncompassionate sire. But Valentine, if he be ta'en, must die. Besides, her intercession chafed him so that to close prison he commanded her, with many bitter threats of biding there.
No more, unless the next word that thou speakst have some malignant power upon my life. If so, I pray thee, breathe it in mine ear, and as ending anthem of my endless dolor.
Cease to lament, for that thou canst not help, and study help for that which thou lamentst. Hope is a lover's staff. Walk hence with that and manage it against despairing thoughts. Thy letters may be here. Though thou art hence, which being writ to me shall be delivered, even in the milk-white bosom of thy love. Come, I'll convey thee through the city gate, and thou lovest Silvia, though not for thyself, regard thy danger and along with me.
I pray thee, Proteus, and if thou seest my boy, bid him make haste and meet me at the north gate.
Come, Valentine.
Oh, my dear Silvia, hapless Valentine.
I am but a fool, look you, and yet I have the wit to think my master is a kind of a knave. But that's all one. If he be but one knave, he lives not now that knows me to be in love, yet I am in love. But a team of horse shall not pluck that from me, nor who 'tis I love. Yet 'tis a woman. But what woman I will not tell myself. And yet 'tis a milkmaid. Yet 'tis not a maid, for she hath had gossips. Yet 'tis a maid, for she is her master's maid. Yeah. Here is the catalogue of her condition. Imprimis, she can fetch and carry. A horse can do more. Nay, a horse cannot fetch, but only carry. Therefore is she better than a jade. Item, she can milk. Look you, a sweet virtue in a maid with clean hands.
How now, Senior Lance? What news then in your paper?
The blackest news that ever thou heardest.
Why, man, how black?
Why, as black as ink.
Oh, let me read then.
Fie on thee, jolthead. Thou canst not read.
Thou liest, I can.
Well, I will try thee. Tell me this. Who begot thee?
Mary, the son of my grandfather.
Oh, illiterate loiterer. It was the son of thy grandmother. This proves that thou canst not read.
Come, fool, come, try me in thy paper.
And Saint Nicholas be thy speed.
Item, she can milk.
Aye, that she can.
Item, she can sew.
That's as much to say, can she so?
Item, she can wash and scour.
A special virtue, for then she need not be washed and scoured.
Yeah, here, follow her vices.
Close at the heels of her virtues.
Item, she is not to be kissed fasting in respect of her breath.
Well, that fault may be mended with a breakfast. Read on.
Item, she hath a sweet mouth.
And that makes amends for her sour breath.
Item, she is slow in words.
Oh, villain, that set this down among her vices. To be slow in words is a woman's only virtue.
Item, she hath no teeth.
Now, I care not for that either, because I love crusts.
Item, she is cursed.
Well, the best is she has no teeth to bite.
Item, she hath more hair than wit, and more faults than hairs, and more wealth than faults.
Why, that word makes the faults gracious. Well, I'll have her. And if it be a match, as nothing is impossible.
What then?
Why, then I will tell thee that thy master stays for thee at the north gate.
And must I go to him?
Thou must run to him, for thou hast stayed so long that going will scarce serve the man.
Why didst not tell me sooner, pox to your love letters?
Now we'll be swinged for reading my letter. I'll after to rejoice in the boy's correction.
Act 3, Scene 2, the same. The Duke's palace. Enter Duke and Thurio.
So Thurio, fear not, but that she will love you. Now Valentine is banished from her sight.
Since his exile, she hath despised me most, forsworn my company, and railed at me that I am desperate of obtaining her.
A little time will melt her frozen thoughts, and worthless Valentine shall be forgot. How now, Sir Proteus? Is your countryman, according to our proclamation, gone?
Gone, my good lord.
And my daughter takes his going grievously.
A little time, my lord, will kill that grief.
So I believe, but Thurio thinks not so. Thou knowst how willingly I would effect the match between Sir Thurio and my daughter.
I do, my lord.
What might we do to make the girl forget the love of Valentine and love Sir Thurio?
The best way is to slander Valentine with falsehood, cowardice, and poor descent. 3 things that women highly hold in hate.
Aye, but she'll think that it is spoken hate.
Aye, if his enemy delivers it. Therefore, it must with circumstance be spoken by one whom she esteemeth as his friend.
Then you must undertake to slander him.
And that, my lord, I shall be loath to do. 'Tis an ill office for a gentleman, especially against his very friend.
Where your good word cannot advantage him, your slander never can endamage him. Therefore, the office is indifferent, being entreated to it by your friend.
You have prevailed, my lord. If I can do it by aught that I can speak in his dispraise, she shall not long continue to love him. But say this weed her love from Valentine, it follows not that she will love Sir Thurio.
Therefore, as you unwind her love from him, lest it should ravel and be good to none, you must provide to bottom it on me, which must be done by praising me as much as you in worth dispraise Sir Valentine.
Oh, Proteus, we dare trust you in this kind because we know on Valentine's report you are already love's firm votary. Upon this warrant shall you have access, where you and Silvia may confer in lodge, okay, where you may temper her persuasion to hate young Valentine and love my friend.
As much as I can do, I will effect. But you, Sir Thurio, are not sharp enough. You must lay lime to tangle her desires by wailful sonnets whose composed rhymes should be full fraught with serviceable vows. Write till your ink be dry, and with your tears moist it again, and frame some feeling line that may discover such integrity. Visit by night your lady's chamber window with some sweet consort. Tune your instrument. This, or else nothing will inherit her.
This discipline shows thou hast been in love.
And thy advice this night I'll put in practice. Therefore, sweet Proteus, my direction giver, let us into the city presently to sort some gentleman well skilled in music. I have a sonnet that will serve the turn.
About it, gentlemen.
Act 4, Scene 1, the frontiers of Mantua. A forest enters certain outlaws.
Fellows, stand fast! I see a passenger. If there be 10, shrink not, but down with them.
Stand, sir, and throw us that you have about you. If not, we'll make you sit and rifle you.
Sir, we are undone. These are the villains that all the travelers do fear so much.
My friends.
That's not so, sir. We are your enemies.
Please, we'll hear him. I by my beard will we, for he's a proper man.
Then know that I have little wealth to lose. A man I am, crossed with adversity. My riches are these poor habiliments, of which, if you should defurnish me, you take the sum and substance that I have.
Whither travel you?
To Verona.
Whence came you?
From Milan. Some 16 months, and longer might have stayed if crooked fortune had not thwarted me.
What? Were you banished thence?
I was.
Oh, what offense?
For that which now torments me to rehearse.
Master, be one of them. It's an honorable kind of thievery.
I killed a man, whose death I much repent, but yet I slew him manfully in a fight without false vantage or base treachery.
Why ne'er repent it, if it were done so? But were you banished for so small a fault?
I was.
Or the best scalp of Robin Hood's fat friar, this fellow were a king for a wild faction. We'll have him. Sirs, a word.
Tell us this. Have you anything to take to?
Nothing.
No then, as some of us as gentlemen, such as the fury of ungoverned youth, thrust from a company of awful men. Myself was from Verona banished for wishing to steal away a lady, an heir, and near allied unto the Duke.
And I from Mantua, for a gentleman who's in my mood I stabbed unto the heart.
And I, for such petty crimes as these, but to the purpose. For we cite our faults, that they may hold excused our lives. And partly, seeing you are beautified with goodly shape, a man of such perfection as we do in our quality much want.
Indeed, because you are a banished man. Therefore, above the rest, we parlay to you. Are you content to be our general? Make a virtue of necessity and live as we do in this wilderness?
Say I, and be the captain of us all. We'll do thee homage and be ruled by thee. Love thee as our commander and our king.
But if thou scorn our courtesy, thou diest.
I take your offer and will live with you, provided that you do no outrages on silly women or poor passengers.
Oh, no, we detest such vile base practices. Come, go with us. We'll bring thee to our cruise and show thee all our treasures we have got, which with ourselves all rest at thy dispose.
Act 4, Scene 2, Milan. Outside the Duke's palace, under Silvia's chamber, enter Proteus.
Already have I been false to Valentine, and now I must be unjust to Thurio. Under the color of condemning him, I have access my own love to prefer. But Silvia is too fair, too true, too holy to be corrupted with my worthless gifts. When I protest true loyalty to her, she twists me with my falsehoods to my friend. When to her beauty I commend my vows, she bids me to think how I have been forsworn in breaking faith with Julia, whom I loved. Yet spaniel-like, the more she spurns my love, the more it grows and fawneth on her still. Ugh. But here comes Thurio. Now must we to her window.
How now, Sir Proteus? Are you crept before us? Aye, but I hope, sir, that you love not here.
Sir, but I do, or else I would be hence.
Oh, Silvia?
Aye, Silvia, for your sake.
I thank you for your own. Now, gentlemen, let's tune and to it lustily a while.
Well, you shall hear music and see the gentleman that you asked for.
But shall I hear him speak?
Aye, you shall. Oh, hark, hark.
Is he among these?
Aye, but peace. Oh, let's hear him.
Who is Silvia? What is she? Holy, fair, and wise is she. The heavens such grace did lend her, that she might be admired be. Is she as kind as she is fair? For lives with kindness. Love doth to her eyes repair, to help him of his blindness. And then to Silvia let us sing, that Silvia is excelling. She excels each mortal thing upon the dull earth dwelling.
Oh no! sadder than you were before? Well, how do you, man? The music likes you not.
You mistake. The musician likes me not.
Why, my pretty youth?
He plays false.
Oh, how? Out of tune on the strings?
Not so, but yet so false that he grieves my very heartstrings.
Oh, you have a quick ear.
I would I were deaf. It makes me have a slow heart.
I perceive you delight not in music.
Not a whit when it jars so.
You would have them always play one thing?
I would always have one play but one thing. But host, does this Sir Proteus that we talk on often resort to this gentleman?
Oh, I'll tell you what Launce, his man, told me. He loved her out of all Nick.
Peace. Stand aside the company parts.
Sir Thurio, fear not you. I will so plead that you shall say my cunning drift excels.
Meet we at St. Gregory's well. Farewell.
Madam, good even to your ladyship.
I thank you for your music, gentlemen. Who is that spake?
One, lady, if you knew his pure heart's truth, you would quickly learn to know him by his voice.
Sir Proteus, as I take it. What's your will?
That I may compass yours.
You have your wish. My will is even this, that presently you hie you home to bed, thou subtle, perjured, false, disloyal man. Thinkest thou I am so shallow, so conceitless, to be seduced by thy flattery, that hast deceived so many with thy vows? I am so far from granting thy request that I despise thee for thy wrongful suit, and by intend to chide myself even for this time I spend in talking to thee.
I grant, sweet love, that I did love a lady, but she's dead.
For false, if you should speak it, for I'm sure she is not buried.
Say that she be, yet Valentine, thy friend, survives, to whom thyself art witness, I am betrothed. And art thou not ashamed to wrong him with thy importancy?
I likewise hear that Valentine is dead.
And so suppose am I, for in his grave assure thyself, my love is buried.
Sweet lady, let me rake it from the earth.
Go to thy lady's grave and call hers thence.
He heard that not.
Madam, if your heart be so obdurate, vouchsafe me yet your picture for my love, the picture that is hanging in your chamber. To that I'll speak. To that I'll sigh and weep.
I am very loath to be your idol, sir. But since your falsehood shall become you well to worship shadows and adore false shapes, send to me in the morning and I'll send it. And so, good rest.
As wretches have o'ernight that wait for execution in the morn.
Host, where you go?
Fast asleep.
Pray you, where lies Sir Proteus?
Oh, May, at my house.
Not so, but it hath been the longest night that e'er I watched, and the most heaviest. Act 4, Scene 3, the same. Enter Eglamour.
This is the hour that Madame Silvia entreated me to call and know her mind. There's some great matter she'd employ me in. Madam.
Who calls?
Your servant and your friend, one that attends your ladyship's command.
Sir Eglamour, 1,000 times good morrow.
As many, worthy lady, to yourself. I am thus early come to know what service it is your pleasure to command me in.
Oh, Eglamour, thou art a gentleman, valiant, wise, remorseful, well accomplished. Thou art not ignorant what dear goodwill I bear unto the banished Valentine, nor how my father would enforce me marry vain Thurio, whom my very soul abhors. Sir Eglamour, I would to Valentine, to Mantua, where I hear he makes abode, and for the ways are dangerous to pass, I do desire thy worthy company, and think upon my grief, a lady's grief, and on the justice of my flying hence, to keep me from a most unholy match, and bear me company, and go with me. If not, but hide what I have said to thee, that I may venture to depart alone.
Madam, I pity much your grievances, which, since I know they are how virtuously they are placed, I give consent to go along with you. Where shall I meet you?
At Friar Patrick's cell.
I will not fail your ladyship.
Act 4, Scene 4, the same. Enter Launce with his dog, Crab.
When a man's servant shall play the cur with him, look you, it goes hard. One that I brought up of a puppy, one that I saved from drowning, I have taught him, even as one would say precisely, thus I would teach a dog. I was sent to deliver him as a present to Mistress Silvia from my master, and I came no sooner into the dining chamber, but he steps me to her trencher and steals her capon's leg. Oh, 'tis a foul thing when a cur cannot keep himself in all companies. He thrusts me himself into the company of 3 or 4 gentlemen like dogs under the Duke's table. He had not been there, bless the mark, a pissing while, but all the chambers smelt him. Out with the dog, says one. What cur is that, says another. Whip him out, says the third. Hang him up, says the Duke. And I haven't been acquainted with the smell before, knew it was crab, and goes me to the fellow that whips the dogs. Friend, quoth I, you mean to whip the dog? Ay, marry, do I, quoth he. Oh, you do him the more wrong, quoth I. 'Twas I did the thing you wot of. He makes me no more ado, but whips me out of the chamber. Now, how many masters would do this for his servant? Eh? I've sat in the stocks for puddings that he hath stolen. Otherwise, he would have been executed. Nay, I remember the trick that you served me when I took my leave of Madam Silvia. Did not I bid thee still mock me and do as I do? When didst thou see me heave up my leg and make water against a gentlewoman's farthingale? Didst thou ever see me do such a trick? Thou thinkest not of this now.
Sebastian is thy name. I like thee well, and will employ thee in some service presently.
In what you please, I'll do what I can.
How now, you horse and peasant? Where have you been these 2 days loitering?
Marry, sir, I carried Mistress Silvia the dog you bade me. Mary, she says your dog was a cur and tells you currish thanks is good enough for such a present.
But she received my dog.
No, indeed, she did not. Here, if I brought him back again.
What, did thou offer her this from me?
Aye, sir. The other squirrel was stolen from me by the hangman boys in the marketplace, and then I offered her mine own. was as a dog as big as 10 of yours, and therefore the gift the greater.
Go, get thee hence and find my dog again, or ne'er return again into my sight. A slave that still an end turns me to shame. Sebastian, I have entertained thee, partly that I have need of such a youth that can be with some discretion do my business, and chiefly for thy face and thy behavior, which in my augury deceive me not, witness good bringing up fortune and truth. Go presently and take this ring with thee. Deliver it to Madam Silvia. She loved me, well delivered it to me.
Seemed you love not her, to leave her token. She's dead, belike.
Not so, I think she lives.
Alas.
Why dost thou cry alas?
I cannot choose but pity her.
Wherefore shouldst thou pity her?
Because methinks that she loved you as well as you do love your lady Silvia. She dreams of him that has forgot her love. You dote on her that cares not for your love. 'Tis pity that should be so contrary, and thinking of it makes me cry, alas!
Well, give her that ring, and therewithal this letter. That is her chamber. Tell my lady, I claim the promise for her heavenly picture. Your message done, hie home unto my chamber, where thou shalt find me, sad and solitary.
How many women would do such a message? Oh, alas, poor Proteus, thou hast entertained a fox to be the shepherd of thy lambs. Alas, poor fool. Why do I pity him that with his very heart despises me? Because he loves her, he despises me. Because I love him, I must pity him. This ring I gave him when he parted from me, to bind him to remember my goodwill, and now am I, unhappy messenger, to plead for that which I would not obtain. I am my master's true confirmed love, but cannot be true servant to my master unless I prove false traitor to myself. Yet I will woo for him, but yet so coldly, as Kevin knows it. I would not have him speed. Gentlewoman, good day. I pray you by my means to bring me where to speak with Madam Silvia.
What would you with her, if that she be?
If you be she, I do entreat your patience to hear me speak the message I am sent on.
From whom?
From my master, Sir Proteus, madam.
He sends you for a picture.
Aye, madam.
Go, give your master this. Tell him from me. One Julia, that is his changing thoughts forget, would better fit his chamber than this shadow.
Madam, please you peruse this letter. Pardon me, madam. I have unadvised delivered you a letter I should not. This is a letter to your ladyship.
I will not look upon your master's lines. I know they are stuffed with protestations and full of newfound oaths, which he will break as easily as I do tear his paper.
Madam, he sends your ladyship this ring.
The more shame for him that he sends it me? For I have heard him say 1,000 times his Julia gave it him at his departure. Though his false finger have profaned the ring, mine shall not do his Julia so much wrong.
She thanks you.
What sayest thou?
I thank you, madam, that you tender her. Poor gentlewoman, my master wrongs her much.
Dost thou know her?
Almost as well as I do know myself. To think upon her woes, I do protest that I have wept 100 several times.
Belike she thinks that Proteus hath forsook her.
I think she doth, and that's the cause of her sorrow.
Is she not passing fair?
She hath been fairer, madam, than she is. When she did think my master loved her well, she, in my judgment, was as fair as you. But since she did neglect her looking glass, the air hath starved the roses in her cheeks, that now she is become as black as I.
Alas, poor lady, desolate and left. I weep myself to think upon thy words. Here, youth, here is my purse. I give thee this for thy sweet mistress' sake, because thou lovest her. Farewell.
And she shall thank you for it, if e'er you know her. Oh, a virtuous gentlewoman, mild and beautiful. Oh, I hope my master's suit will be but cold, since she respects my mistress' love so much. Here is her picture. Let me see. I think if I had such attire, this face of mine were full as lovely as this of hers. And yet, the painter flattered her a little. Unless I flatter with myself too much. Her hair is auburn. Mine's perfect yellow. Her eyes are as gray as glass, and so are mine. Ah, but her forehead's low, and mine's as high. What should it be that he respects in her, but I can make respected in myself? Come, shadow, come and take this shadow up. For 'tis thy rival. Oh, thou senseless form. Thou shalt be worshipped, kissed, loved, and adored. And were there sense in his idolatry, my substance should be statue in thy stead. I'll use thee kindly for my mistress's sake, but use me so, or else, by Jove, I vow, I should have scratched out your unseeing eyes. Act 5, Scene 1, Milan and Abbey. Enter Eglamour.
And now it is about the very hour that Silvia at Friar Patrick's cell should meet me. She will not fail, for lovers break not hours unless it be to come before their time. Oh, see where she comes. Lady, a happy evening.
Amen, amen. Go on, good Eglamour. Out at the postern by the abbey wall. I fear I am attended by some spies.
Fear not. The forest is not 3 leagues off. If we recover that, we are sure enough.
Act 5, Scene 2, the same. The Duke's palace. Enters Thurio, Proteus, and Julia as the page.
Sir Proteus, what say Silvia to my suit?
Oh, sir, I find her milder than she was, and yet she takes expectations at your person.
What? That my leg is too long?
No, that it is too little.
I'll wear a boot to make it somewhat rounder. How like she my discourse?
Ill when you talk of war.
But, well, when I discourse of love and peace.
Better indeed when you hold your peace.
What said she to my valor?
Oh, sir, she makes no doubt of that.
He needs that when she knows it cowardice.
Well, what said she to my birth? Consider she my possessions?
Oh, aye, and she pities them.
Wherefore?
Oh, that such an ass should own them. Here comes the Duke.
How now, Sir Proteus? How now, Thurio? Which of you saw Sir Eglamour of late?
Well, not I.
Nor I.
Saw you my daughter?
Neither.
Why, then she fled unto that peasant Valentine, and Eglamour is in her company. Besides, she did intend confession at Patrick's cell this even, and there she was not. These likelihoods confirm her flight from hence. Therefore, I pray you, stand not to discourse, but mount you presently and meet with me upon the rising of the mountain foot that leads to Mantua, whither they are fled.
Why, this peevish girl that flies her fortune when it follows her. I'll after, more to be revenged on Eglamour than for the love of reckless Silvia.
And I will follow, more for Silvia's love than hate of Eglamour that goes with her.
And I will follow, more to cross that love than hate for Silvia that is gone for love. Act 5, Scene 3, the frontiers of Mantua, the forest, enter outlaws with Silvia.
Come, come, be patient. We must bring you to our captain.
1,000 more mischances than this one have learned me how to brook this patiently.
Come, bring her here. Where is the gentleman that was with her?
Being nimble-footed, he hath outrun us. Go down to the west end of the wood. There's our captain. We'll follow him. There's Fred.
The thicket is beset. He cannot escape.
Come, I must bring you to our captain's cave. Fear not. He bears an honorable mind and will not use a woman lawlessly.
Oh, Valentine, this I endure for thee.
Act 5, Scene 4, another part of the forest, enter Valentine.
How use doth breed a habit in a man. This shadowy desert, unfrequented woods, I better brook than flourishing peopled towns. Here can I sit alone, unseen of any, and to the nightingale's complaining notes tune my distresses and record my woes. Repair with me thy presence, Silvia. What hallowing and what stir is this today? Oh, these are my mates that make their wills their law, have some unhappy passenger in chase. They love me well, yet I have much to do to keep them from uncivil outrages. Withdraw thee, Valentine. Who's this comes here?
Madam, this service I have done for you, to hazard life and rescue you from him that would have forced your honor and your love. Vouchsafe me for my meed, but one fair look, a smaller boon than this I cannot beg.
How like a dream is this I see and hear. Love, lend me patience to forbear a while.
Oh, miserable, unhappy that I am.
Unhappy were you, madam, ere I came, but by my coming I have made you happy.
By thy approach thou makest me most unhappy. Had I been seized by a hungry lion, I would have been a breakfast to the beast rather than have a false Proteus rescue me. Oh, heaven be judge how I love Valentine, whose life's as tender to me as my soul. I do detest false perjured Proteus, therefore be gone, solicit me no more.
What dangerous action! Stood it next to death, would I not undergo for one calm look? Oh, 'Tis the curse in love, and still approved when women cannot love where they're beloved.
When Proteus cannot love where he's beloved. Read over Julia's heart, thy first best love, for whose dear sake thou didst then rend thy faith into 1,000 oaths, and all those oaths descended into perjury to love me. Thou hast no faith left now. Better have none than plural faith, which is too much by one, thou counterfeit to thy true friend.
In love, who respects friend?
All men but Proteus.
Nay, if the gentle spirit of moving words can no way change you to a milder form, I'll woo you like a soldier at arm's end, and love you 'gainst the nature of love. Force ye.
Oh, me unhappy!
Ruffian, let go that rude, uncivil touch, thou friend of an ill fashion.
Valentine?
Thou common friend, that's without faith or love, for such is a friend now. Treacherous man, thou hast beguiled my hopes. Naught but mine eye could have persuaded me. Now I dare not say I have one friend alive. Thou wouldst disprove me. Who should be trusted when one's own right hand is perjured to the bosom? Proteus, I am sorry I must never trust thee more, but count the world a stranger for thy sake. The private wound is deepest. Oh, time most accursed mongst all foes, that a friend should be the worst.
My shame and guilt confounds me. For love, thou knowest, is full of jealousy. Forgive me, Valentine, if hearty sorrows be a sufficient ransom for offense, I tender to thee here. I do as truly suffer as ere I did commit. Here wouldst thou strike?
Why, sir, I'll strike nothing. I am paid, and once again I do receive the honest. Who by repentance is not satisfied is nor of heaven and earth, for these are pleased.
Good sir, my master charged me to deliver a ring to Madame Silvia, which out of my neglect was never done.
Where is that ring, boy?
Here it is. This is it.
How? Let me see it. Why, this is the ring I gave to Julia.
This is the ring you sent to Silvia.
But how camest by this ring? At my depart, I gave this unto Julia.
And Julia herself did give it me. And Julia herself did bring it hither.
How? Julia!
Behold her, that gave aim to all thy oaths and entertained them deeply in her heart. How oft hast thou with perjury cleft the root? Be thou ashamed that I have took upon me such an immodest raiment. Your shame live in disguise of love. It is the lesser blot modesty finds. Women to change their shapes, then men their minds.
Then men's their minds. 'Tis true. Oh, heaven.
Come. A hand from either. Let me be blessed to make this happy close. 'Twere pity two such friends should be long foes.
Oh, a prize!
Prize!
Forbear, I say, it is the Lord the Duke. Your grace is welcome to a man disgraced, banished Valentine.
Sir Valentine.
Yonder is Silvia, and Silvia is mine.
Thurio, give back, or else embrace thy death. Come not within the measure of my wrath. Take but possession of her with a touch. I dare thee but to breathe upon my love.
Sir Valentine, I care not for her. I hold him but a fool that will endanger his body for a girl that loves him not. I claim her not, and therefore she is thine.
The more degenerate and base art thou to leave her in such slight conditions. Now, by the honor of my ancestry, I do applaud thy spirit, Valentine, and I think thee worthy of an empress's love. Know then, I hereby forget all former griefs, cancel all grudge, repeal thee home again. Take thou thy Silvia, for thou hast deserved her.
I thank your grace. The gift hath made me happy. I now beseech you for your daughter's sake to grant one boon that I shall ask of you.
I grant it for thy own, whatever it be.
These banished men that I have kept withal are men endued with worthy qualities. Forgive them what they have committed here and let them be recalled from their exile. They are reformed, civil, full of good, and fit for great employment, worthy lord.
Thou hast prevailed. I pardon them and thee. Come, let us go. We shall include all jaws with triumph, mirth, and rare solemnity.
And as we walk along, I dare be bold with our discourse to make your grace smile. What think you of this page, my lord?
I think the boy has grace in him. He blushes.
I warrant you, my lord, more grace than boy.
What mean you by that saying?
Please you, I'll tell you as we pass along. Then you will wonder what hath fortuned.
Come, Proteus, 'tis your penance, but to hear the story of your loves discovered. That done, our day of marriage shall be yours. One feast, one house, one mutual happiness.
Were man but constant, he were perfect. That one error fills him with faults, makes him run through all the sins. Inconstancy falls off ere it begins. What is in Silvia's face, but I may spy more fresh in Julia's with a constant eye? Bear witness, heavens, I have made my wish forever.
And I mine.
You suck.
That's a mean thing to say about Lisa Dawn.
What a happy ending.
Right. It is a happy ending.